I've been seeing a lot about Halo Infinite, and I think it's worthy having this conversation. I feel like enough time has went by. We can actually have the conversation if Halo can be saved, if Microsoft should save it. Just generally about this game. I've been playing Halo for a very long time. Since Halo 3, Halo 2, Halo 1. I've been playing from the OG when it was at the Bungie. I still feel like the franchise can be saved. Now, I know I see a lot of people talking about on Twitter. I've seen Chess Cord and shout out to him. There's a lot of conversation on Halo. And, you know, the state that it's in right now is probably the worst Halo's ever been. Just by far. And the sad part is you could argue that it is in the best it's ever been at the same time because the gameplay, which a lot of people feel is the biggest issue on Halo, has been fixed, has been remedied. And I think it's just the state on how they handled microtransactions. It's the state on trying to do little things like, really putting some form of gate behind just something as simple as colors in Halo Infinite that you could really look at something like this. Does Halo have that brand focus that it used to have when it come to the 360 days, the original Xbox days? No. But I don't think we're at the point where it's not worth fixing. Halo can easily be saved. Well, maybe not easily. Maybe that's a really strong word to be saved. But I do think it can be saved for a variety of different reasons. But the question is, does Microsoft want to save it to the degree that needs to be done? We see a lot of issues with microtransactions when it comes to Halo Infinite. I actually feel like Halo Infinite could be a games as a service in terms of the multiplayer, but I don't think it could be that in terms of the single player. You see games like Destiny do very well because they have this function, this loot system that works from the PvE to the PvP and back. But you can argue that that doesn't work with this game. Halo is more of an arena shooter and it originated from that, but I don't think it's the key thing that's going to get people into this brand anymore. Got to really aim towards the newer audience. And what I say the new audience, we all know what I'm talking about, the battle royale. So I think that one of the biggest reasons that they could really put this franchise back where it is first, they got to completely cut Halo Infinite off. Obviously support it, do what you can, bring that content, but you got to have the majority, if not hire more people, and you got to be working on a new Halo game. I feel like there's been so much bad publicity around Halo Infinite that you're never going to realistically save that game. I don't think you're going to have a Rainbow Six Siege or any of these other games that have been revived from pretty much ashes and had a phoenix moment. I don't think you're going to have that. So then when you make this new game, Arena still needs to be a focus, but it doesn't need to be the sole focus. I do think that you have some prominent people, maybe hired some ex-developers that made Fortnite, and really focus on, we want a battle royale in Halo, but we want to make it make sense to the Halo universe. We see all these battle royale games, the ones that survive and stick around, they did something unique to the franchise and they really push that whole battle royale thing forward. And I think Halo can be easily one of those things. I think it has some of the most notable worlds that's ever been in gaming, such as Reach. Now, obviously, it's not something like Mass Effect, but a lot of people know what these locations are. You can easily put those in Halo Infinite. I mean, whatever the sequel would be called. What I like about Call of Duty is their Warzone when you launch. I don't know if it does it now because I haven't played Warzone in a long time, but if you look around, it might not have been Warzone. It might have been Blackout, the one before Warzone. But when you look around, all the single places that's laying around the map, like the locations, are locations that's been in Call of Duty. You could easily do something like that with Halo. I think it needs to be a revolving battle royale, kind of like what Fortnite is, where you have pieces of the ring breaking off. Like, there's so many opportunities and so many things that they can do with battle royale in a Halo universe. You can have the incident where you're dropping from a drop pod, from an ODST drop pod. You can even come out ODST and maybe there's places throughout the map that you can level up your person to be a Spartan. Sure, is that realistic to the lore of Halo? No. But as far as a gameplay thing, it would be pretty cool where, you're in teams of 4 and one person in your team becomes a Spartan, but the other 3 has to defend him while the augmentations are going down. I think there's a lot of things they can work there. They could do a lot of drastic things when it comes to the Halo franchise in a battle royale world. It's just, is Microsoft willing and Xbox are going to have to spend a lot of money to really mix and match and find out what's good and what's not. Now let's talk about a new sequel. I don't want them to abandon Aatrox. I don't want them to abandon what they've worked hard in terms of this new story, but I don't want it to be an open world anymore. I personally feel like the open world wasn't the culprit behind what was going on in Halo Infinite, but I don't think it helped. When you look at something like open world, look at something like Mad Max. If you play that game, the map is divided into certain sectors that is controlled by like a general or something. I feel like that was the better direction for Halo Infinite. They should have made Halo Infinite more like a Far Cry or a Mad Max game. And I think there would have been a lot more story integration there. They could have showed you generals as part of the reason they beat the ODST and just the humans so quickly. There could have been a lot of things they could have done there. They did the little VIP things, but I don't think it was in depth as I would have liked it to be. So if they do continue the Halo franchise in that way, that's the way I would like them to go. If not, I want them to be a linear way, kind of like what Halo 5 was, but really build out the world, build out the lore. Don't just have the same boss multiple times. There's multiple ways of doing things. And I think that 343 can definitely get Halo back on track. But at this point, I don't blame anyone for doubting them. I don't blame anyone for saying they can't do it, switch it off to another person. And I'm not on the part yet where I think that someone else needs to work on Halo, because if you look at it, Halo is its own beast. It's got a PvP and a PvE. Now, the campaign PvE is unique. It's not something that's normal. It's a unique thing, and people love the story of Halo. Think about Call of Duty. Think about Battlefield. Halo is one of the last things that really captivate on having a good single player and a multiplayer. It's one of the issues that people are having loving the Halo franchise, because they'll love one and not the other, and there's never a part where they love them both equally. And I think that's the issue here. Me personally, if you do want to go the direction to have someone else, let 343 work on the multiplayer and outsource the campaign to a studio that you trust, that makes the type of campaign that you want. And that's the key point here. The kind of campaign that you want. And I think Halo could easily be very recognizable having something like the Wolfenstein Machine Games, that immersive first person, because there's not a lot of people that do that. We need that form of set pieces, and there's not a lot of developers that can do that. I do think they did better in Halo Infinite in terms of the campaign, but I do think there was a lot of holes in the story and things didn't make sense to some degree. It felt like it was, put together at the last minute. It was okay, but it could have been way better. But that's just pretty much my thing, man. Halo can easily come back. It's just going to take money, talent, and pretty much time. And, money's time in general. Talent's money. So it's like a giant circle of hell. And I just want it to get back. I love Halo. I think Halo is definitely the pillar of Xbox, one of them. And I think the pillars of Halo needs to be Battle Royale, a solid campaign experience, and an arena shooter that is innovative and does something different. I don't think you need to change Halo drastically like other people think. Maybe change some of the mechanics that's happened in the game. I think they've been doing a good job on that, actually, where they give you some mechanics that you might not necessarily like, and some of the older people, like such as myself, don't like, the sprinting, but they actually put stuff in there to help you, feel more comfortable of people being able to sprint. And I think little things like that, just, I think it's weird, man. It's weird. I just want the franchise to do better. I don't want Microsoft to give up on it. I really don't. 343, guys, got to get your stuff together. Maybe with the new management changing, maybe they can actually get a road to make Halo what it used to be. Because right now, it's the worst I would say it's ever been. And that's sad, man, because Halo used to be that gauntlet for everyone. And I wouldn't say it's that way anymore. But anyway, That's all for the video, you guys. Put in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys feel. If Halo could be saved, how would you do it if you could be the one in charge of everything over there? And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.